Yeah, it's just 4 new songs, and then 1 song's remastered. And yeah, it's a little EP, but we're putting it out on Grimace Records is releasing a single for us. It's called The
Okay.
Last Sound. That's not released yet. That won't be out until July 1st. And then we have a few other songs that we're doing a full-length cassette with actually an 8-year history. So it's gonna have pretty much every song that's been recorded from 2016 to 2024. So it's 8 years of history.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review Podcast. Today, I got my buddy Dakota from the band The Afraid out in California, and these are pals of the Havoc. You guys know I love those dudes. So, what's up, Dakota? How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Full disclosure, everybody, I forgot I was supposed to be talking to the showman this morning. He texted me, and I was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but give me a second, man. Like, thank God they were cutting my grass because we would have had to pause anyways because it was so loud right outside this window. And I was like, well, that was the universe giving me a couple extra minutes to get situated. So,
all right.
Yeah, you guys are touring starting next week. What's the date?
We leave on July 3rd. Well, we play
July
here first
3rd?
in California, and then we're doing just five dates. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited. We're gonna hit up 5 different states in 5 days.
That's amazing. That's crazy, bro. 5 states in 5 days. That's some Northeast type activity, man. They got like small states up in the Northeast, but out in the West Coast, dude, that's a lot of driving.
I think every drive is 8 hours. Like, yeah. So pretty much, we're not like we are not sleeping in. We are getting up every morning and having to leave, like first thing. Like there's no downtime. We're getting up and going to each state.
That's a really good thing about doing stuff like this because people need to understand that that's how people get around to these shows. Like, I hope folks that show up and appreciate it, man. That's a lot of driving, dude. Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough but fun. But yeah, we're gonna be in the van pretty much the entire time, just driving. We're not gonna be able to have any time to do any sightseeing or any. It's get up and go for sure.
Before we start talking about music and stuff, we were just talking about basketball.
Yeah, we were.
And I was talking about how I don't really watch it anymore because it's just kind of soft now. And I'm 42, so I watched basketball in the 90s, and I remember Hakeem Olajuwon. I remember when Shaquille O'Neal was drafted, and he was like this crazy, unstoppable big man. And I remember the later half of Jordan. I wasn't around when he first came into the league because I was a little kid and I wasn't watching sports. But I dislike Michael Jordan quite a bit, and it's because of the way he treated a Houston personality. He was really, really. I'm not going to go into details because it's just language I'm not going to use on a podcast with you. But he said some really gnarly stuff to a dude named Chameleonaire, and I'm a huge
rapper Chameleonaire.
Yeah, bro. I'm a Houstonian through and through, bro. There's anything that I do, it is represent Houston, bro. I love this place.
Okay.
And when he did that, I was already a Hakeem Olajuwon fan. So like, you got to think like if you're a fan of basketball at all and you're from Houston, you probably don't like Chicago anyways because in the 90s you were an Olajuwon fan. But I will give Jordan respect for saying that Hakeem is one of the better players that they played, and he wasn't sure what they were going to do if they played Houston. I thought that was kind of cool because that's got to be tough to admit if you're somebody of that guy's ilk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're Jordan,
you were asking me about LeBron, and I do feel like Jordan has more humility than LeBron does, and that's
what.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. If you watch interviews with Jordan, like about like why he lost games, why he won games, and stuff like that. He never claims to ever like be like the GOAT really so much. Oh, someone's trying to call me. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Buzzing in my ear. I just feel. I mean, again, maybe it's just some of the clips I've seen where people are showing that because you have bias when people make these clips or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when people ask like LeBron about being the best player and about why he lost games, why he won games, stuff like that, oftentimes his responses I feel like are less humble than sometimes like Jordan or how Kobe would respond, and just like the attitude of like. I feel like the drive to win also is stronger in Jordan and Kobe than like LeBron. I feel like his drive to win is like
I might agree with that.
He excuses sometimes his inability to win a game.
I'm a notorious Jordan hater, but I can understand that that's probably true. I do think that's probably accurate. I just thought it was cool that he was going to be able to play with his kid. Like that's just like parental stuff more so than NBA stuff. That's amazing.
Well, you're a father. I'm a father. Like that.
Right.
And no matter how good the kid's going to be and how good LeBron's going to be in this upcoming season, just as I said, even if they play one game together, it's historic.
Yeah, it's historic and it's amazing. Yeah, LeBron. I also think that it's like, in my personal opinion, LeBron's the GOAT. Like, I don't even like LeBron. Like, I'm
Oh,
not a fan. I'm not a fan
okay.
of his at all. I
We
don't
disagree.
care.
We disagree on that, but that's
Oh,
okay.
I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah.
But like, I think people hate honesty. So when they ask somebody something and you just give them a straight up honest answer, whether it sounds good or bad, people just don't like it. So if you're like, "Hey, LeBron, why'd you lose the game?" and it's because, let's just say, he passed the ball to some dude and the guy made some boneheaded error, and he's like, he wouldn't be like, "Oh, because I da 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 da," because it wasn't his fault. He'd be like, "Well, because dude missed the shot. He threw the ball into the crowd." And people
Yeah.
are like, "Well, you can't say that." It's like, why can't I? That's what happened. And people don't like that. And I got very little experience with watching his. I've never been a fan of LeBron. So like my boy Josh, that's his favorite player of all time. Dude, he like follows him around to different teams. I'm like, bro, stop, bro. Find your team, dude. Stick with your team.
Yeah, some
Please.
people, yeah, that happens though. People become fans of players more so than teams. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
especially like even football, like when you're doing fantasy, people become now like they become
Oh,
fans of
yeah, I guess so,
so many
huh?
teams because it's like they now are fans of players, not so much of teams
Oh, I
anymore.
never considered it having something to do with fantasy. I did like daily fantasy stuff for a while. Like that's how I made my living for a while. Like
Yeah.
but I only did baseball and basketball. I don't watch football. And I don't really watch basketball anymore. Back then I did. But yeah, I was doing that's a whole podcast in itself, bro. I literally dude, I was making so much money that when
Really?
FanDuel became illegal in Texas, I physically cried tears.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Really?
I had to go get like a real job, and I was
It's
like, I
a
don't know what to do. I'm not a real job guy. Like, I don't have.
it's illegal in Texas?
It was for like years, like
Really?
5 years or so. Yeah, FanDuel. They let DraftKings be legal for some reason, and I couldn't transition. It just wasn't the same thing, and I wasn't doing as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I was selling lineups. Like, I was just basically being people's like representative. Like, I was just like, here, this is what I'm playing, and I
Wow.
would give people advice. And I had a whole, yeah, dude. I worked at a Chili's restaurant, and I had the whole place giving me $20 a week per person for lineups. And
Wow.
it doesn't sound like a lot of money until you have like 50 people giving you $20 a week, and then you're
Yeah.
like, I don't even need to work there anymore. But I had to stay there so that I could keep in touch with those people. It was a whole thing.
Wow. Yeah, that's that awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
talk about some punk rock music stuff. So
Okay.
you
All
guys
right.
have some new stuff coming out, no?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's technically supposed to be released July 1st. It is already up online though, so you can already listen to it. But we're formally announcing it July 1st.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just 4 new songs and then one song's remastered. And yeah, it's a little EP, but we're putting it out on Grimace Records is releasing a single for us. It's called The
Okay.
Last Sound. That's not released yet. That won't be out until July 1st. And then we have a few other songs that we're doing a full-length cassette with actually an 8-year history. So it's going to have pretty much every song that's been recorded from 2016 to 2024. So it's 8 years of history because we don't have a full length LP. We just have basically now 3 EPs, and so they're
Okay.
all on a cassette tape. Uh, I don't know if we're gonna do more of that. We've talked about doing a 7-inch, like you and me talked about that a few weeks ago. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's gonna happen or not, but basically, as of July 1st, all of our songs will be up on the internet. You can find them in all the different spaces. Although I think our first EP is going to come down for a bit, and I'm going to have to put it back up because it's on up with TuneCore. We self-released everything besides The Last Sound. Everything's been self-released. So I think TuneCore is going to expire, and I'm going to put it back up with DistroKid. I just find that I like them better than TuneCore. So it's going to come down, and then I'll go back up. But yeah, so
That's where all the stuff gets too muddy for my personal tastes. Like, I don't like dealing with DistroKid, TuneCore. I don't like none of that stuff, man.
yeah,
I like BandCamp, YouTube. If you like BandCamp, YouTube, and in physical media. I'm old, bro. Like, I'm not a
yeah,
tech guy at all. Even people are like, oh, what do you do with your label? I'm like, I don't own their music, bro. It's the band's music. I just release it on a physical form. I put it
yeah,
up on my Bandcamp. 90% of that I don't even charge for. I don't charge for Bandcamp songs. I just
yeah,
charge for the physical media. You get a free download if you buy it. So I'm glad I don't have like a big label, because I would be because I'm so not really with that stuff. I don't
yeah.
like the fact that they force you guys. I don't know if that's actually true. How do you go about getting your music on Spotify?
Yeah, so everything is self-released except there's one song that will come out July 1st, which will be through Grimace Records, but everything was self-released, and they're even allowing us to still do our own Bandcamp. So that song I'll put up on Bandcamp too. In fact, these new 4 songs I need to put up on Bandcamp. I'll probably do that even today, to be honest. Songs will probably go live on Bandcamp today. So when people see this, check Bandcamp. And that
For
is probably
sure.
the best way to support us online is to download the songs on Bandcamp if you don't want to buy a physical CD from us or a cassette from us, because Bandcamp that's where bands get the best proceeds from that.
Oh, by a lot.
So yeah, by a lot. Yeah, by a lot. So definitely, we're gonna self-release everything on BandCamp. I put everything up myself just through DistroKid. It was on TuneCore, but that's just you can do it yourself. You have to pay a fee for it. So I lose money. I make less from streaming than I actually pay to put it up each year. So we're losing money just to let people be able to hear our music, basically. Now, if something happened, also we start getting a million listeners, well, that would be great. But right now,
Right.
we get a few
It's
hundred
kind of
listeners.
like
Yeah.
it's like the cost of doing business. It's like overhead. You know what I'm saying? Like to have because it's probably not a lot of money, right? Like to pay to have that.
I think it's well, there's that's why I like DistroKid better than TuneCore. I think that it's like a one-time fee where TuneCore charges you every year. It's like $40 every single year to keep your songs online,
Okay.
like $50 whatever a year. Or DistroKid, I think they have a one-time fee, like it's like a legacy. You pay that and then it's up. So
Okay.
so
Yeah. So
yeah,
okay. So it's like overhead, but it still sucks, man, because you have to have. I love and appreciate Spotify because they do make it accessible for smaller artists to get their music on there. I remember back in the day,
yeah,
if you were like a small punk band, Apple Music wasn't letting you put your music on their platform.
yeah,
I remember that very vividly. And
yeah,
back in like the MySpace days, dude, those people were like, no, you're just like some kid with a. You should absolutely let people put their music
yeah.
up on there, man. If you can host it, anyways, if you have enough,
Through
what?
TuneCore and through DistroKid, I'm sure there's other services as well. You
Yeah.
pay a fee; it goes up on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. iTunes Music. It goes up on a bunch of other random Pandora. It goes up on all these sites. It goes up on like a dozen different sites. So you pay a fee and it goes up on all those sites.
So
So
here's a question for you then, because
yeah,
you'll know this more than I will. I know somebody who was constantly upset with the fact that his music was on YouTube through one of these providers, and he was seeing nothing from it. It was getting tens of thousands of listens, and he was seeing nothing from it.
really,
Is that how it works? If you have, excuse me, my bad. If you have a song go through DistroKid or whatever onto YouTube, and it
hmm
gets say 20,000 streams or listens or views or whatever you want to call it, would you guys see any of the revenue from that? Because it's going to generate
he
revenue.
sounds like he's doing a lot better than we are. We are not at that level of getting that many listens. We would love to, of course. I feel like I've made like $15 one year, even though I spent $45 to have it up. Like, and that was,
That's how I
and
feel
that,
about stuff
and
sometimes.
that was through the whole platform. And I don't know where the listens all came from. I honestly didn't
Gotcha.
I didn't do
Okay.
the analytics to find out where everything came from. So, but I don't know enough about that. So
Yeah, it's something when he told me that I couldn't believe it because I do YouTube content, so I was like, wait, what? I was like, it's your stuff. You should get the money from it. And I
yeah,
was like, man, I can even use a snippet of a song as long as I use a very small amount of it and I do the commentary. I can do a monetized video. And he's like, yeah, not the same, man. I was like, okay, so explain to me. And he's like, I think he uses DistroKid. He's like, I have to use this platform that it puts it on there for me. And I was like, so you can't put the songs on Spotify yourself? And he's like, no, you have to use one of these services.
yep, yep,
And I
yep,
was
yep,
like, that's where the catch is, I guess. And I was
yeah.
like, damn, that's crazy. But hey, again, I think people need to be, even though I'm the one complaining about this, people need to be okay with the fact that I personally think most musicians make their money in like live shows and like merch at the
Yeah,
shows,
I
and
mean,
then
merchandise. Yeah,
BandCamp.
yeah. The best thing you can do is when you see a band play, you like them, buy a T-shirt. Buy a
Yep.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
If they have a CD, they have a record, have an LP or whatever. Like even if you don't listen to it that often, because most people put it on their, they stream now or whatever. If you just buy it and it supports the band and you put it in your collection, you know what I mean? I collect records and CDs, as I can see behind you. You have a wall full of CDs and records.
Yep.
How often do I put a CD on nowadays? Not that often, but you know what? I love my collection. I feel like it's a way to support these bands and yeah, even the cassettes. Like honestly, like I don't have I do actually have a stereo with a cassette player, and maybe I'll have to plug it in and use it. But like even the cassette, it's a collectible thing, and I have boxes full of old cassettes. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
I have probably like 100 old punk rock cassettes, a bunch of 7 inches records. Don't listen to them that often, and I should, but I still feel like it was a way to support the band, and it's part of your collect.
It's
Part of your
memories
collection.
too, though, man.
Yeah.
It's a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just talking to my wife about this. You'll appreciate this based on what you just said. I was talking to my wife and I said, okay, so it started off when I was talking to a customer at my store, and he said he also owned a record store and he's moving out of the country, so he brought me a bunch of stuff and was like, "Hey, man, do you want this stuff?" And I was like, "Well, let me buy it from you." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Why are you letting all this go?" And he's like, "Well," he said, "years ago, I figured that you can either have one of two things: a great record collection or a great record store. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because if you buy collections from people and you also collect stuff, all the good shit is going to your house. It's happened to me so many. I've had to like make myself not take things home.
Yeah.
And so I was telling my wife, I said, I don't really listen to my records like I used to. I think I should pull out like maybe a dozen or so that I really love and then just take the rest of them to the store. And she goes, no, that's your record collection. Don't do that. And I was like, yeah, but I don't really use them. She goes, okay. And I was like, dude, point well made. I get okay, and like you love them, right? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, then why do you care? Who are you trying to impress by listening to them? I'm like,
well, if you find someone who's even a bigger fan than you are, like like let's say you talk to someone and you're like, wow, like you really love that band. I love that band too, but you really love that band. I get what I have this record that I love.
Oh, I've definitely done that. I love giving stuff away, bro. Like
very generous if you do that kind of thing. Not to say you have to, but yeah.
I would say I probably, if you took all the value of the stuff that leaves my store, I'd say a good 15% of it isn't paid for. I give things away all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Bro, my overhead's pretty low and I'm fortunate and I know that. And so when a like 19-year-old kid comes in and he's wearing like an Os Rotten shirt, first off, I'm like, where the hell did you get that shirt? Here, take this 7-inch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just here, bro. You ain't got the money for this, but you clearly want it. Take it, bro. It's whatever. When you're 25 and you got a job, come back. Like, it's all good, man. I was a broke punk kid too. So you know what it is when I was a kid, somebody gave me a bunch of stuff once, and I've always thought, like, dude, that changed my life. Like, so I try to facilitate some kind of punk rock, goodwill.
Gifts are remembered for sure. I think that's true, and it reminds you also in the future to be, a giver to others. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's nice. That's good. It's good.
Yeah. What do you guys? So okay.
So I'll tell you. So the new EP, it's called Political Control. And the cover of it, it's pretty funny. It's basically like an elephant in a suit and a donkey in a suit, right? And they're pulling at a guy, right? And I just feel like the band The Afraid, right? In 2016, that was when the first election with Trump and Clinton was happening, and I felt like there was so much fear, and the fear has just kind of continued through. And I feel like our political system has just gotten so fear based. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of And it's just we're just and so. And I just watched the interview this morning. I have to be careful because I'll just say it, I don't care. So I just saw this guy, this I don't know who he was, but he was talking to Fauci and basically talking about how Fauci was, it's just a fear mongering thing, a lot of it. And it's just like, yeah, there's been a lot of fear in this country the past, 8 years. And that's how I named the band The Afraid. And it was funny because I feel like it just like became more. And then obviously, the band Fear, too. I was like, okay, well, there's already fear. Let's be the afraid, So, but I just, that's kind of, and so this album, Political Control, there's a song on the album called Political Control, right? And basically, my inspiration for that song was actually from George Washington. His farewell address to when he left as president. He warned against political parties. He basically said that because at that time there wasn't political parties yet. He was the first president. He was kind of warning against it and saying, I mean, there were political parties probably back in England and stuff like that.
Right.
But in the United States, they were just kind of getting established. And he said, I'm warning against political parties because they're only going to cause division, basically, and fear, and they're going to separate the country. And that was our first president. You know what I mean? And
that's wild.
And so it's his farewell address is what he's talking about. And so he says they're going to serve to distract and divide the nation, basically. And that's what's been happening in our history. And so that's why the cover is basically a donkey and an elephant, Republican, Democrats pulling at a guy. You know what I mean? And so, we're all told different things. It's hard to know what to believe. There's a lot of speculation. And that's a lot of people, I think, end up getting fearful about, the state of the union. And that's kind of, and not that we're not super political. Well, a little bit, I suppose, but I'm more making commentary on, I'm not taking a stance necessarily one way or the other. I'm kind of more like just be aware of how you think.
That's the best way.
You think. So
I feel like if you, I look, based on what you just said, it's such a great like launching point for this like way of thinking. I've always thought it's really dangerous to take a stance on either side. And I understand that a lot of people, especially in punk rock, they go, no, it's not. You go left. And it's like, okay, but why? And then when you tell them, you say, but why? And then you shut your mouth and you go, but why?
Yeah.
You never get a good answer because it just gets more and more extreme. Their answers are never like, something that makes like logical sense to almost everybody, right? It only makes sense to extreme left and extreme like anarchist types and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. I think I'm jumbling my own words at this point, but taking an extreme stance on either side is so dangerous. And I think that if you do that, you start or you stop thinking for yourself and start just believing what you're told. And that's dangerous on both ends, man. And I think people need to be more willing to think for themselves and behave on their own ideals and take from both sides and come up with something. But yeah, that makes sense. I want to actually, I've never been into history really, but I like that, and I would like to. You said it was his
a farewell. I'm pretty sure it's his farewell address. So
farewell
when he was leaving as president, the end of his presidency, he was warned against political.
I would like to read that. I'm sure somebody's got it documented somewhere. I could read it.
You can look it up. It's funny that I pretty much the first line of the song came from that, which is they serve to distract and weaken our lives is what I'm pretty sure that was my inspiration. I wrote this song a while ago. It's funny. We wrote some of these songs like before 2020. Like it was just like everything got delayed with the pandemic. Us taking a pause for that, and then members leaving. My band I'm the only original member of the band.
Okay.
Chris has been in the band though for a long time. Tolik, and I told he's our fill-in drummer, but was in the band before Chris. But he's kind of still steps in and fills in. He plays with another band now. He's from Russia, actually.
Oh wow.
We've actually had 3 Russian members in this band.
Whoa.
But right now it's Almog. He's actually and then his family's from Israel, and then Nick. He's our drummer. He actually lives in Alabama right now. So it's funny because we really have 2 drummers right now, but Nick is our main drummer, and he flies out from Alabama once a month basically because of his job and his family. So he's our main drummer, but then Tolik fills in and plays drums too. So
it's amazing we can have bands that have members from all over the world. It's so easy. Well, not easy, but it's easier now than it's ever been to do something like that. That used to be something that was like, if you don't have your same people in the neighborhood, you're out of luck, man. You had to have people that were very close.
Yeah, it's tough. But even the Havoc, right? We're touring with those guys. Their singer lives in Oklahoma. Their bass player, although he's not going on tour, I think they have a fill-in bass player for this tour. He lives in Pittsburgh, so they're also all over the place as well.
Wait, is Sean playing bass for them right now on this tour? Sean Condon?
They had one guy that was going to fill in, and then it changed to another guy. I'm not really sure who's playing bass for them.
Well, if it's Sean, that's the homie, dude. Shout out to Sean. That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just got some artwork from him today, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I did. He might have been the guy who was going to first play. I think maybe he stepped down and someone else is doing it.
Okay.
I think. I'm not 100% though. I could be wrong. So, but yeah. So they have, it's you got to make it work, and I know other bands that are like that make it work and have rotating members. Although you want to have your core, of course, but to keep it going, you have to kind of do that. And I know sometimes people some bandmates will get upset about that. Oh, I can't play. We shouldn't play the show. Well, it's like, okay, well, if just one member can't play, are you willing to have someone else fill in? And every band has to handle that how they feel, see fit. But
down here that happens a lot, man. Like a lot of our homies are like incestuous band members. They're all over the place, and they're they're in like 3 or 4 bands. I mean, that's like I personally have 2 bands that I work with that like consistently have like members swapping out, and you can't take it personally, man. There's usually in a band, unless it's a very large like established permanent band that's what their job is. Usually there's one dude that is like, I don't know how to say it like this. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but like there's one guy's like in control because it's like his project more or less. And it's like, well, no, I need to do this show. Like I'm the one that does all the shirts. I do all of this. I do all the booking. Let me play the show, please. Like, and most people are good with that. Maybe not when you're young, but when you're old enough to you're like, I just want to play. Like,
well, I think it depends. Like a lot of times, obviously you can't play a show without the singer, right? He's the voice.
Right.
He has to be there. Now, if one member can't do it and you have a fill-in person, I think that, if you guys are in agreement, cool. Now, if 2 people can't do it, then you're like, okay, well, 2 of us can't do it. We shouldn't do the show. And I know that bands have had issues with that. One of my friends' bands, I won't bring them up because they had a really big falling out, but the singer was in control and they were like, 2 guys couldn't do it. Well, I still want to do the show. This is an opportunity. Well, 2 of us can't do it. Like, the singer was out of it. They still play the show. They're like, well, 2 of us can't do it. We can't.
Is it 2 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5?
I think there was 5. I think there was 5, but
2 out of 5.
2 guitar players, singer, bass player, drummer. And so but that band is no longer a band, and there's a lot that happened with that band.
Because
But
2 out of 5 is only 40%. 2 out of 4 though, that's where I start going. That's half the band, bro.
man, yeah.
Like I guess it's my personal opinion would probably be like it has nothing to do with me anyway. So
Yeah.
you guys do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to see people get upset with each other too, especially friends, man. Like doing band stuff, music is tough, man, especially when you depend on other people.
Yeah. Well, I think
Uh,
it's also though, like it's like if your core member can't do it and you ask them, hey, you can't do the show. Are you cool that we ask so and so to fill in for
right.
you? And they're agreeable to it, great. But they say, I'm upset by it. Then your lights went out, huh?
Yo, what the F, bro?
Your power went out.
No,
Yeah.
because my computer's still up.
Oh yeah. I still hear you. You're obviously still there.
Yo, what just happened, dude?
You got ghosts in your house?
That'd be awesome. Hold
Okay.
on one second, dude. This is gonna stay in the podcast too. Hold on, I'll just use my window. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I put my computer here for a reason.
Okay. I'm not very bright, and I don't know if I should turn my lights up here. While you do that, I'll make myself a little bit brighter here too.
Bro, we got like
That
light.
was
Do I?
that was the intermission. What was that?
Back. I'll say we got light coming from like the complete opposite side of the room now. Like 20 minutes ago, it was over on this side of my face, and now it's like over here
Okay.
because I had to open my window. But whatever, we got light. It's all good. Dude, that honestly, it startled me. I was like looking right at your face, and then it went. What the hell? Anyways, man. Hey, at least it didn't stop the computer. Whatever happened, it wasn't like my electricity, because that would be absolute ass. Having 3 kids home from school during the summer.
Oh, how hot is it out there?
Oh my goodness, bro. It's noon right now. It's probably 100 degrees, I would think.
Yeah.
And 5,000% humidity, bro. Like the other day, I literally walked out to my car, which is like 15 feet from my front door. And I came back inside and my entire back was wet. And I was like, man, I just took a shower. I was like so pissed because I was like, I feel gross now. And I work around food and stuff, so I shower a lot. Like nah, no, thank you. Anyways.
Yeah, it's hot out here too, but not that hot. I mean, I'm in Thousand Oaks, and it's like if I literally drive 20 minutes, like kind of towards Camarillo, Ventura, it drops 10 to 15 degrees just because you're kind of heading towards the ocean. You go down a grade and then get down to like sea level, and it's like it drops minimum 10 degrees. Crazy.
That's awesome.
If I just drive 30 minutes, you know what I mean, or less, it's crazy. But up here in Thousand Oaks, the valley, it's like it's been like we've been in like in the 90s, I would say lately. But
how's the humidity out there? Is it super bad?
So, yeah, that's the thing about California. Say we have a Mediterranean climate. It doesn't really get that humid out
that's
here.
nice.
So yeah, not humid.
Bayou City, man. This place is muggy sometimes. Dude, I got a question for you, man. I've never traveled. I've only been to Las Vegas, and that's it. I've never been outside of Texas otherwise.
What?
Yeah. I've just been my whole life. I've been
I got a guest room, man. If you ever want to come out to California, man, just you're welcome.
Okay, I appreciate that. I might actually take you up on that. My wife is amazing, so if I had some kind of stuff I could benefit, like I could make it a channel thing, she'll let me go wherever I want as long as I'm doing something that's constructive.
If there's like a show in LA, I live like a half hour north of Los Angeles, basically.
So you're that close to LA. I'm further than that from Houston now. I live so far from Houston, I may as well just drive to Austin. I do most time. I just drive to Austin at this point. I can drive to Austin to just do record store shopping. It's that close to me now. It's awesome.
Nice. I hear Austin's great. I've been around Texas. I've toured in Texas with one band I used to play in from Ohio. I filled in for a tour for them, and also I went through there with the Havoc too as a roadie on their first tour.
Nice.
And I bounced around Texas a little bit. But I've never been to Austin, and I hear that's like
Austin's.
Cool
if you're gonna go anywhere and you're like not from here, Austin's probably the place. I'm partial to Houston because I've grown up here, but like if I was to be honest about it, and I was gonna go, I would go to Austin first and then come down to Houston because there's gonna be great stuff that you can't get from to do it right, you'd have to go to Austin and Houston or Austin and Dallas.
Yeah. I
don't like Dallas very much personally. It's not even the people, it's the driving. I just don't like their freeways. It irks me. It's so scary driving to Dallas, bro. It's weird because we're 5-hour drive from each other, and it's like I'm driving in a different planet. And I'm sure they feel the same about Houston, though. It's very different. Anyways, my question was since I've never been anywhere, if I was going to go to California, I always wanted to go see a California beach. Where would you recommend that I go? Is there a specific place that's just really pretty and like nice weather all the time?
So my hometown, and I feel very privileged to grow up in this town, is Laguna Beach. It's gotten more hoity-toity, but it's very much it was a small art town originally. Laguna Beach is beautiful. Water gets warm in the summertime. It's really enjoyable down there. I would say if you're going to go anywhere, Laguna Beach would be where I'd recommend as far as a beach
Nice.
town goes. So
Heck yeah,
now
man.
I live, I live like 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours north of Laguna Beach. That's in Orange County.
Okay.
Laguna Beach is in Orange County. But I grew up there. I was probably one of the poor kids in that town, but we lived in the canyon. We were called canyon rats because most of the town is very that was like a term for the kids that live in the canyon. Just like it's a more affordable place to live in Laguna.
Hey,
But that town was great. I could skateboard to the beach in
let's
15
go.
minutes. Ride my bike down there, and yeah, it's a great
To
little
the
town.
beach?
Yeah,
I can't even imagine that, dude. Because you hear people talk about that. It's not unheard of that people can ride their bike to the beach from their house, but it's
yeah,
just so foreign to me. Like I can't even imagine driving to the beach very easily, much less riding a bike or a skateboard or walking.
yeah,
That's got to
yeah.
be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Laguna Beach is a great town. It's a very it's a small enough town where you could bike the town, ride the bike. In the summer, they actually have free trolleys too.
Oh, what?
They're totally free. Yeah, you can ride on them.
Wow.
And I think it's because they're trying to encourage tourism and
Sure, sure.
businesses. And there's some art shows there that are very popular in the summertime, and they're just trying to encourage people to do that and to not
That's a
cram up
good way to do it.
parking. So because the parking lots get full, they're not very big and stuff like that. So yeah, Laguna
Dude,
Beach, I would say.
that's
Yeah,
freaking rad. I know during like big sporting events in the rodeo, I think Houston does their rail system for free.
yeah,
And that makes sense too. You got to help your people, man, like
yeah,
your citizens, your home base people. That you got to help them out with stuff like that because bringing people in helps small business.
yeah,
Having the free transit helps people that work around there. I mean, it's a lot. It just feeds off of it.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
But I would still say, I mean, you can't go wrong. Like, I mean, there's beaches all up and down the coast. Obviously, you can
Right.
go to, Newport, Huntington Beach. San Diego is amazing. I went to school in Santa Cruz, UC Santa Cruz, and obviously Santa Cruz is 6 hours north. It's up in the north, but it's beautiful up there. Redwood trees. Water's colder. Pretty much year round. It's colder, but it still gets
Okay.
beautiful on sunny days in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is cool, but it has the boardwalk down there with the roller coasters. It was where the movie Lost Boys was filmed, the vampire
Okay.
movie.
Okay. Okay.
So I definitely recommend Santa Cruz is a great town to visit. So it's depends on where you want to target while you're out in California.
Right. Right.
Right now I live Thousand Oaks. I kind of either go to Ventura or I go to Malibu because
Nice.
I try to surf like once a week or twice a week. So
Oh,
I either
really? You're still
surf,
doing that? That's
yeah,
awesome, man.
either Malibu or Ventura typically.
I used to
So
skateboard. I never surfed, obviously, being down here in Houston. I literally went out to Galveston once and somewhere up in no, I think I just went to Galveston. My buddy who was he was a transplant and he surfed a little bit and he was trying to find a place to surf and not really something that they do down there very much. But dude, I didn't mean to laugh a minute ago. You said Lost Boys and something popped in my head. So in my entire career of doing like content on the internet, I've only had one video that I can actually say was a viral video because it's not something that happens to everybody. People go, "Oh, you must have viral." No, dude, that's
it wasn't Aaron Miklow's video a couple weeks
oh
ago.
my
Now you have two
no,
viral videos, right?
bro, that chick, man, she would love to tell people that she went viral. I wouldn't consider 16,000 views viral, but
Oh,
it
that's
was
all I got.
definitely
Okay,
it
that's a
was it.
lot. That's a lot.
No, it's a lot, but I'm talking like 3.5 million views.
Oh, wow. Okay, what was it? Tell me.
Yeah,
I
so
interrupted you.
okay, no, it's all good. I do. You can bring up Aaron Mickle anytime you want because I'd love to talk shit about that girl. I can't stand her, dude. That's such a not cool thing to say, but it is what it is, man. Dude, when I first talked to her, I really thought I was gonna have egg on my face and be like, dude, this chick's actually pretty cool. And I just couldn't believe how that conversation went.
I watched a video with her. I don't want to say too much. I watched a video with you, and I actually at first I kind of was getting some respect because she was talking about her history, how she got into punk, kind of being an outcast in a way, getting teased and discovered punk and liked punk like a lot of us, and had a friend introduce her to punk, and I learned that then she seemed like she's like enjoys it, and she enjoys listening to punk and all this stuff. What I don't like so much is it's how much longer she stretched it out and the videos and her and her boyfriend, the videos they post, it just those annoy me. But
Right.
as far as her enjoying punk and getting into punk, I kind of like, oh, okay, at least she has an actual like story about how she got into punk and the music and how she had a connection with punk music. And I kind of like, okay, that's cool. Like as I didn't really know her backstory.
Right.
Um,
You were a
but
little more accepting of her answer than I was. I thought her answer was hogwash, bro. I was just like, all right, yeah, I guess. Like, it just never was anything. It never once did she mention how much she loves it or how much the
Oh,
music makes her happy and like
I thought
changed her life.
I thought she kind of said that a little bit, a
Okay,
little bit,
okay. You're
I
nicer than I am, I guess.
I am. I'm a nice guy. It's true. I typically give people the benefit of the doubt, probably
Yeah, I
more than others. So
yeah.
I just said I. It's funny because I have a friend that knows her and his ex girlfriend knows her, and we talked about it, and we're like, oh yeah, But then we're like, oh man, now she's just like putting her foot in her mouth because it just kind of like, it's like she could have smoothed some stuff over a bit,
Well, dude,
but
I thought
yeah,
that's what she was gonna do. I have
yeah,
like documented conversations with her where I was telling her like, "Hey, look, we can cover like the drama stuff, but why don't we do a get to know Aaron part?"
yeah.
I tried to get her to do
And there
that,
was some
and
of that, but then it kind of went a different direction. Yeah,
yeah, but every time I tried to do that, she went right back to like, "But I got da 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 da, and I'm a victim and da 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 da." So
yeah,
I was just like, by the end of it, I was so exhausted. But I tell you what, the best part about that video is that I learned a lesson. I will never, ever, 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 ever be a part of that kind of situation again. I don't
mm,
care who talks to me about it. I don't care who asks me a question about it. I just don't care, man. I don't want her getting picked on. I don't want her to be around. I just go do your thing, man. But if she's around, I don't get it, man. Like when I go places, if there's somebody I don't like there, I typically just don't look at them. Like I don't know. It's
yeah. And that's the thing is we all have our different opinions of what punk is, and I don't think you can define punk. To be honest, I think some people, and we all have, like you said, so politically wise, like people have different views, people have different styles, and how people dress, and like the way we do our hair, all that stuff. Like it doesn't define punk, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's a love of the music, and there are some elements of punk that can be talked about, but even that, it's like you know how you view politics and all that kind of stuff is a lot of it's arbitrary, or not arbitrary, but I don't know if that's the right word, but it's up to in some interpretation, I would say. You know what I
very
mean?
much
And I just feel like, you know, I don't know, judgment and all that kind of stuff. That being said, I don't want to get too far deep in that on this
right,
rabbit hole
right,
about
right.
her,
It's no, it's all
but
good. No, no,
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and recognize we're all outcasts in our own different ways, and she's an outcast in her way. I'm an outcast, you are in
right,
ways, and we
right.
try to find
I do.
connection. But the social media stuff, that is like, yeah, everyone is trying to, obviously as a band, we're trying to get followers, we're trying to get people to like our band. I just heard this thing about it's not how good your music is it's not how good your music is, it's how well you do your social media. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you serious?
I mean, look, dude, that's accurate because like as an example, I feel like I make pretty good content,
Yeah.
and it's all about like how much do I post, how many people do I get to follow me, how da da da. So yeah, it unfortunately has gotten to that point. I learned a lot from that video, so I do owe her a little bit of something because I learned a lot about like myself, how I conduct business when I'm talking to people that I don't necessarily like. There's a lot of things that I learned about myself doing that. So I will see some good in almost any situation, and then in that situation, that's what I feel like I learned some stuff. But
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. I interrupted you. Let's go
no,
back
it's all good.
to the Lost
So
Boys, your
no,
viral
this
video.
is this is actually really funny. So okay, a couple years back when COVID was like super, everybody was freaking out. Like it was crazy, right? So I was doing like pop up events a lot because I didn't have any other way to make money, and so I had this one that was over. It was in Halloween, uh, and there was this big thing out in Katy, Texas, and my friend and I are vendors there, and I film everything. So I'm walking around and I'm just talking to people, and I've been doing this a long time, so I know in Houston I know a lot of people. So I'm just walking around talking to people, and my friend's like, "Hey, did you hear that? Um, what's this? Corey Feldman's gonna be here?" And
Oh, okay.
I was like, "For what?" And I thought he was gonna be signing autographs, and then and they were like, "No, his band's playing," and I was like, "He's got a band?" And they
Yeah,
were like, "Yeah," and I was like,
the Angels are hot, man.
"Sure," and yeah,
Yeah.
Aaron Miklo,
Wait, what?
and I just so okay, so I'm
Yeah.
standing around, right? And
Yeah.
I have this like gimbal stick, and I got a
Okay.
my phone on it, and I'm like
Yeah.
walking around, and I hear this music playing, and I
Yeah.
go and I walk around the corner, and it's Corey Feldman, and they're setting up and they're doing sound check.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, oh, that's crazy. That actually is Corey Feldman.
Mhm.
That's wild. And so I
Mhm.
just like kind of filmed like a minute of it, and then I left.
Mhm.
And then like a couple hours later, they're fixing to play. They start playing, and I'm listening to it, and I'm just kind of chilling with customers. I'm selling stuff at my tent.
Yeah.
And then I think my wife had gotten there and my kids were there. So they were like, "Hey, you can go walk around for a minute if you want." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go check out some of this Corey Feldman stuff. This is wild."
Mhm.
And so as I'm walking up, I'm filming this and I'm filming me walk up, and they're playing the like introduction to his set, and then they get to like the Lost Boys song. But at one point, I'm filming it, and I'm looking around, and this dude's playing on this stage out in this like I don't know, ice house, and like there's a couple hundred people kind of spread out through this place, but they're, you know, it's a event for purchasing things. It's a vendor event. And so I film it, right? And then that afternoon I post up like a clip on TikTok. Hey, I was a vendor at an event at like 6 o'clock. This happened. Where was everybody at? And I put up the thing. That's all I did, right? And I had no intent when I did that, other than at the time I had like maybe 400 followers. I didn't think anybody's going to even see it. Yeah. So I put it up on there, right? What I didn't know was that Corey Feldman, like an hour before that, had posted a video from like this weird angle being like, hey, we're out in Katy. There's like thousands of people here. Y'all got to come hang out, and posted it. And so like after he posted that, I posted, there's like 150 people here. Where's everybody at? And somebody sent it to him. And instead of him like emailing me or something, because all my information is available, he got pissed off and put it on his Twitter and was like, screw this guy. And it blew up. And I woke up the next morning to like phone calls. People were like, hey man, I see you all over Twitter and TikTok. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it went from like 500 people to where I had like 17,000 within like a couple of days.
Wow. And
it just kept going. And I was like, what is happening? And it was just getting, dude, I contacted the venue because they were all pissed off at me, thought I was trying to mess with this guy. And I was like, bro, I don't even know the dude. Wow. And so I contacted the venue. The venue like publicly banned me and like was like shitting on me. And so I contacted them. I'm like, hey, if we can get on a 3-way conversation, I'll happily like let everybody know that I didn't mean whatever you think that I meant. Yeah. And like, just
you were like, there's a few other people here. Come on out. Like, you weren't trying to minimize.
I was like, where's everybody at? This is cool. Where's like, was it a little snarky? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a kind of a snarky guy, but I didn't mean anything like negative. I wasn't shitting on Corey Feldman. I don't care about that guy.
Yeah.
But
he's a really nice guy. You watch his interviews, but he's awkward for sure. But I love his movies. Love his.
Oh, stuff. He's a dickhead, dude. I don't like that guy. Dude, look.
Well, you had a different experience with him for sure.
I was gonna say it depends on your vantage point.
Yeah. You remember when you said I give people the benefit of the doubt. So.
Right. I'm just an asshole, I guess. I don't know, man.
But, man. Okay.
Yeah, but that's my one claim to fame, is that I had like a public beef with Corey Feldman, dude. It went on for days, bro. I was like, bro, I offered many times to just like clear the air, but the thing is that they didn't want me to benefit from that at all. And the only way I would do it, because they asked me to pull the video down, and I was like, well, then let's get on a 3-way conversation and let's talk. Yeah. And they were like, no. And I was like, then I'm not pulling the video down. I was like, you guys were being rude. You acted like I did something I didn't do. Yeah. And I was like, I wanted to get on here and explain myself, but I want to do it with you and Corey. Yeah. And they were like, no, you just want to. I was like, no, I absolutely want the rub from that. Like, I'm not going to take my video down because you don't like it. Yeah. That's crazy to me. And then the guy's like, you're not allowed here anymore. And I was like, to what, your shitty biker bar? I don't care. Like, that's fine. Cool, whatever. I was like, then I'll leave the video up. It's still up right now. People, I do stuff, but yeah, I still get like pings. It's been like 3 years, dude. I get like,
wow,
random comments on it, bro. I haven't done TikTok in a long time because I tried to do that format. I didn't really care for it, but Corey Feldman, man. Look, dude, I hope the guy's okay. That guy's had a lot of problems.
It's hit as "What's Up with the Youth." You've heard that song before?
No.
Check out the video. "What's Up with the Youth." There's a video. It's like these people dancing. It's a really weird video. Like it's what's up with dance club? Yeah, "What's Up with the Youth." He's dancing in it. There's a bald guy dancing.
He wants to be Michael Jackson so bad.
Oh yeah,
that's
kind of yeah. There's an interview recently where we talked about how Michael Jackson heard that song and told him he could make it a #1 hit. And Corey said that he didn't want Michael Jackson's help. He wanted to do it on his own.
He didn't want Michael Jackson's help.
Well, he didn't want to take advantage of his friendship or something like that. He's what he said.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know,
dude. Anybody that's my friend that has a band, dude, I'll help you put a tape out. Like that's what you do. Like you have your friends help you with stuff. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Hey man, I want to play basketball really bad. I'm pretty close friends with Michael Jordan. Let me just not ask him for any pointers. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
But, it was.
Hey, look, in all sincerity, dude. Like I don't care about the guy outside of his. I hope he's healthy and fine. Like I don't have any like. I'm not. I just thought that situation was so funny, bro. He was so pissed off, and I'm like, bro, why are you mad? Like, I don't know you. Like, why do you care about me, man? I'm some vendor at
I always liked Corey Feldman. He's awkward, and I think his music isn't the best. Obviously, it's very, very
You're
awkward.
very, very generous, man.
But
That
I,
guy's
well,
music is
because,
ass,
well,
dude.
because
Like, what are we talking about?
because you grew up with like the Goonies, right? You see him in Goonies, you see him in the Lost Boys. Like, kind of a fan of some of his movies, those '80s movies. Yeah, his movie. I don't want Corey getting mad at me. He can be mad at you. No,
Dude, no, for real though. No, I'll take that on. It's all good.
no.
No, dude, have
But
you heard that song "Comeback King," bro? Like,
is
what are
that one of his songs? Oh no,
Yes.
I just listen to what I'm with the youth, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think this would be number one
Dude,
hit. Sorry, Corey.
I'm laughing at this guy though, but
Yeah,
if you want to really look at it like objectively, he's far more successful than I'll ever be. So you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I can, and I'm okay with that. It's all right. I can laugh at myself. I'm an idiot, dude. It's all right.
You don't have the
Like,
dance moves like him. You gotta see how
bro,
he
that guy,
dances.
dude. I still have all that footage, bro.
Oh
Every now
really?
and then I'll just send it to my friends and they'll be like, "Oh no, stop!" Like,
Okay, now I want to see the video. Send it my way. Get you one more view. I'll have to
bro,
check it out.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It's so, dude. It's like, like I've seen videos of him like performing and like mid song, he's like, "No, stop! What are you doing?" to the guitar player, and I'm like, "What the
Wow.
fuck is
Oh.
going on?"
Well, Michael Jackson was like that too, right? He was really critical of
Oh,
his band and
yeah,
very,
yeah.
it definitely kind of follows. Yeah, he's very, he's trying to follow Michael Jackson's footsteps. But
Dude, his fans are rabid, dude. Like, I wish I could get a fan base like that. Like, I'm not gonna even front, dude. That guy's fans love him.
really, okay.
Oh, dude, I got shit on so, like, what's the word? Like, without any let up. Like, it was just I every day for like 2 weeks, I would just wake up and read these comments and just laugh and because I don't whatever, man. If I don't
Yeah.
know, you're on the internet, I don't really care. But dude, they would say the craziest stuff to me as if they like personally knew him.
Oh, they're
And I'm
mad at
like,
you for
oh
that.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
They were mad at me because he was mad at me, but they didn't really know what was going on. So they
Sorry.
would just
Yeah.
come over there and talk crap. And I was like, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, dude, back your boy up. I'm not even tripping, man. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Aaron Miklo, you probably do hate me. Tell me how much you hate me. Please do it in my comments, please. Give me a thumbs down. Tell me how much you hate me. I don't care, man. Just get me into the machine, please. Help me out, man. Hate me to
You're
success,
just like
please.
Aaron, just looking for followers, just looking for views. I see you, Randall.
I'm
No.
Aaron Miklo, but spelled Aaron, man. What are
Yeah.
we doing here?
Well, speaking of followers, no, check us out. My band.
Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, well, since I'm doing this interview about the band, let's go back to the Afraid, right?
Right. No,
So,
I was actually going to
yeah,
ask you something about that a minute
yeah.
ago.
Well, I would love it. So we are going on tour, right? We're July 3rd. We're playing in Marietta, California. Then we're going to Bullhead, Arizona on 4th of July. Then we're playing Salt Lake City on Friday, 5th of July. Then we're playing Denver, Colorado. And get this, we were supposed to play a diabolical bar in Denver, Colorado on July 6th. It burned down, and they suppose it arson attack. So
What?
yeah,
Dude,
so
that
that
sucks.
just happened a couple days ago. So the show got moved to a place called 1010 Workshop, which is in Denver, and then we're playing Albuquerque at not the launch pad, but next door there's a place called what's it called again? I can't remember the name of the venue. It's right next door to the launch pad. Inside Out Bar, in
Okay.
Albuquerque, and then that's it. So five shows. But you from Texas, we actually, me and my drummer were talking about we want to play Texas, maybe tour in the winter in Texas. So hopefully we can
It
get that
doesn't get
way.
too hot down here, so it wouldn't be miserable.
Yeah, I've been to Texas in January before, and it was really nice. So
Yeah.
that would be awesome to come out to Texas and play there. And now that we're doing a single with Grimace Records, I know they're based out of Texas too. But maybe through them, through everybody else, I would love to go out and play some shows in Texas. So that would be
I can
awesome.
definitely help you in Houston. The guy that owns the major club out here is a guy I've known since I was 5, so I can get into his ear pretty easily.
Okay.
And in all seriousness, like aside from the silly, goofy stuff, before we get out of here, can you explain what style of punk rock you guys play? Where did you come up with the what was your inspiration to start this band and why?
Well, I kind of mentioned the band name, The Afraid, and kind of a commentary on just the state of how people were living in fear a lot. And they still do, of course. It's always going on. The band inspired by, I would say, we have elements of street punk, but not just street punk. I listen to like a lot of California punk bands too. Like growing up, listening to I grew up listening to TSOL and Swinging Utters and
Hell
bands
yeah.
like that. San Francisco punk bands, Orange County punk bands, Adolescents, that kind of stuff, which is less street punk, kind of more just California punk.
Right.
But there are elements, influence, of the Unseen, obviously the Havoc, friends of ours too. even Anti-Flag too, honestly, you know, I love that band. It's really sad what happened with that band. And I started to I was more of a fan of their earlier stuff, you know, and kind of got
Right.
disconnected with the band. And obviously they had a big fallout with what happened to the singer, which is crazy,
It's sad
crazy.
what happened to the people
Yeah.
involved with that.
Yeah. The whole
Yeah,
thing is
the
crazy.
the members of the band that weren't involved and then the victims of that. It's like it ruined a legacy of a band that I was a huge fan of. Like
Yeah.
that one hurts. That one hurts. Like I took it personally, and I don't want to make it about me. Of course, it's about the victims of that shit. But like, man, I took that personally. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's such a talented band. Their musicianship is amazing. All the albums are good and a little unique. Each album is a little different, but also similarities. I feel like they kept to a system that worked. And I mean, they had like what 8 full lengths out or something like that. They had
at least,
a lot of albums out, and I always thought like I'm surprised they weren't bigger because they were constantly touring, put out new material. But maybe it just sucks. Yeah, you're right. The legacy of the band, a great band, is tarnished forever. You know what I mean? And it sucks. So
dude, I was at my job in Houston. Think about this, bro. This is weird, man. I was at my job in Houston. And I was talking to somebody about like punk rock music on the left side of the bar.
mhm,
All the way down to the other end of the bar, there's this guy, and he's like, when I'm talking, he's visibly bothered. Like I can just see his body language is changing.
yeah.
And I'll keep looking at him, and I said, "Hey, are you good? You need something to drink or eat?" He's got a full beer, and he's just like, "No, I'm good, I'm good." But he's dressed in like a polo shirt and like khaki pants and a hat, like a regular looking dude, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's like, he finally speaks up. He goes, "Hey man, I hear you talking over there." And I was like, "Oh no, did I say something to upset this guy?" You know, at work, I'm certainly not trying to do that. On this, whatever, it's my channel. I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But at work, I'm trying to be kind to everybody. I want everybody to be comfortable. I mean, I want everybody to be comfortable, anyways. But specifically at work, so I go over there. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Yeah, I have a family member that plays punk rock music," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then he goes, "Well, it was cool." And then he kind of like looks at the bar top, and you could just see him almost start crying, dude. It's a
Mhm,
big dude. He's a big guy. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then he's like, I said, "What do you mean it was cool?" It never even clicked what he was talking about. And he goes, "Oh, you know, he's just dealing with a lot right now." And then it clicked, and I was like, "Wait, who's your brother?" And I was like, "Please tell me it's not the singer, right?" And
mhm,
he goes, "My brother plays bass for Anti-Flag." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
mhm.
And he like shows me a photo. I was like, "What? Yeah, that's the same guy." And dude, this guy was a mess, dude. So my point was is that it affected people. Like, bro, it was wild, man. I
Yeah.
just first of all, I couldn't believe that guy was sitting there at my bar randomly. That was so strange because I didn't know, like in Houston, like aren't they from like
Yeah.
Pittsburgh or something?
They are from Pittsburgh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that guy was a hot mess, and he was so pissed off about like just Justin's behavior. Like he was like, it
What's
affects more than just him. He was like screaming when they left the bar. He was screaming, dude. He was like screaming and left. Like
Oh, man.
it
They
was,
I actually
dude.
I actually saw Anti-Flag play without Justin. Like, Justin had some health issues. Yeah, they played the shows without him because he had some health issues, and I know the bass player, forgot his name, he would sing some of Justin's parts, and the
Oh
other guy
wow.
would play. So they actually would play shows. So they could have maybe, but Justin is the only original member, or no, the drummer Pat is also original too. So yeah, there was a three-piece originally. Um, so but yeah, it's just too tarnished for them to keep it going.
Yeah, you'd have to
Yeah,
change the band name, and then like, do you want to start like that again? And
yeah.
can you
They
imagine
what
the emotional like and like what I don't know. I don't know those guys. I don't really. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that shit is insane, man. Like,
no.
but anyways, y'all the one thing I noticed about your band that I liked quite a bit was the vocal style. Who sings for your band? That's what I thought.
It's
Okay.
me. Yeah, it's me.
I almost said something about you singing for the band. I was like, shit, I'm not 100% sure that you're singing.
Yeah.
But I like the vocals.
Thank
It's
you.
not quite a street punk vocal. Was I remember that was one of the things I liked the most about it. It gave it a little bit of its own identity.
Yeah.
But dude, TSOL, didn't they just put out new music recently?
Maybe so. I know they're still going. I know they were we played a show with them actually about 6 months ago, and they
Nice.
mentioned that one of their members, I think their guitar player, was having some health issues maybe, and I thought they were going to take a little hiatus. Then all of a sudden, I still see them playing shows. So I don't know what happened with that, but they're still going. I mean, they're still playing
Well,
shows all the time. I mean,
hopefully they got resolution to that. That's what the
yeah, yeah.
deal
So
is.
and that's the thing. We in this band, I will say probably, The Afraid, my band, it's our band. we're trying to get more momentum. We don't have a lot of followers, so please follow us on Instagram, just the Afraid, or we're on Facebook and we're on Spotify, all that good stuff. But we've had the honor of playing with some amazing bands that I grew up listening to. We played with TSOL, we played with Agent Orange,
Yeah,
we played a sold out show with the Addicts at the House of Blues. We played
dude.
with Angelic Upstarts before the singer
Yes.
passed away. We played with Union 13 a few times. I grew up listening to those guys. We played with the Havoc, of course. We play with who else we play with? We play with the Vibrators. We played with Reagan Youth. We played with the
Wow.
Exploited and the
Yes.
Cro-Mags. They opened
Dude,
up
that's
for
awesome.
Exploited and Cro-Mags. We played with Youth Brigade.
Wow.
So we played with these bands that I grew up as a kid, and I'm 41. I'm an old guy now. The fact that I'm playing with bands that I grew up listening to when I was in junior high school,
Right?
and they're still playing shows, and we get to play with these bands now. It's like playing with the sun for me.
Yeah.
It's like me playing
Well,
with these bands that raised me, like as a punk fan as a kid. So like that, to be honestly, is like, even if our band doesn't even go anywhere, and we make it's just the fact that we got to play with these bands that I grew up as a kid. That alone is like awesome. So
that
yeah,
I like that's your attitude about it. That tells me you'll probably go further than you're expecting just based on your attitude, man. Attitude matters, man, and being grateful for things like that is important. It is cool, man. I think we're in a really weird sweet spot for punk right now because, like, quote unquote legacy acts are still around,
yeah,
and we are getting to play and go see shows and film them and interview them and talk to them on my channel, and
yeah,
it's pretty amazing. I'm supposed to be reaching out to, like, the dude from the Dwarves. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, it's just bananas. They're still kicking around. I mean, I
yeah.
was, same kind of thing. I was listening to them as a kid. Uh, I just got to talk to freaking Jim Lindbergh, bro. My mind was absolutely blown talking to him. He's
Wow,
so nice. Like, he's just like the nicest dude. It was just like talking to you, bro. It was like the same kind of conversation.
it's
I
awesome.
was a little more quiet, but you
Yeah.
know,
But that's one thing, playing with these bands that you idolize as a kid, and you play them, like, oh, they're regular, regular people. A lot of them, I mean, some are nicer than others, some are give you more time than others. But yeah, it's the end of the day, like punk. I mean, the punk genre doesn't create, celebrities. You know,
well, I was continue your thought.
oh,
Sorry.
I would just say, I mean, there's a few cues you can. I mean, I did get to meet Travis Barker one time at Warped Tour, actually in Pittsburgh, and you know what? Even for him he's probably the biggest punk star as far as guys I've met. So
Right.
nice to us. Me and my buddy played drums in a band called The Last Hope out of Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and we were there together hanging out, and they were just talking about drumsticks, and Travis
That's
was hanging
awesome.
out with us, and like we were all just talking, and then like all of a sudden like people started coming up to us, and you could tell we were starting to get surrounded by like a bunch of fans. The
Yeah.
security guard comes and grabs Travis over his shoulder and runs him out of there because it was like getting too much.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I
Travis
think
is
it's
like, oh,
real.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah, yeah. But like meeting these guys, like once they're like behind the scenes, they're all just normal guys. We're all normal guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's cool to meet those people. So
That is awesome.
yeah,
Dude, that's rad. Travis
yeah.
Barker's huge. I was talking to a
But this was
buddy.
that was 15 years ago at least when I met Travis Barker. So
Dude, he
he's
was a
yeah.
huge star at that point, though. Like 15
That was
years
for
ago,
the
that was post Enema of the State. I mean, post
that was
self-titled.
that was Transplants when I saw him play. He was playing for the Transplants.
Dude,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Tim was there too, and those
That's
guys.
see,
Yeah.
that's the guy I want to talk to, man. I got like a bucket list of guys I'd love to speak with, man. Tim, Lars, Matt, all those guys for sure, man. Like
I
that's my
bet you I
favorite
bet you
band.
if you message them, Matt does that channel right now with his bass man
I
or
was
whatever he
thinking
calls it.
about hitting up Matt. He seems like
Yeah,
he's pretty down to earth guy. Tim
yeah,
seems a little shy, maybe not shy, but like kind of reserved. Like he doesn't necessarily want to do that stuff all the time.
yeah. But I
But
bet you who would. I bet you who would. I bet you
I'll,
who
I'll
would.
I'll eventually get the courage to email those guys, man. I've talked to Lars on the phone a couple times, so I think I
Okay.
could probably coerce that guy into doing something. He's
I
a
think
pretty normal
so.
dude.
They seem, I know people that know Tim, and I've met Lars briefly I was at a show in Sacramento, just like a punk rock show, like Monster Squad, like some street punk bands. I think it was like Whiskey Rebels are playing. I think Pressure Point, like some of those Sacramento bands.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching these bands. It's like in just an open field kind of show in Sacramento. And also look over, like Lars Frederiksen is standing like right next to me, just watching the
So
bands play.
yeah, I can't
Like,
even
oh,
imagine
that's
that, dude.
Lars, yeah.
Dude, that's so wild to me. But like, I was talking to my friend about, like, because what you just said relates to this so much. I said, man, punk rock is the only genre of music where you can email somebody that you like truly love and have been a fan of for 25 years, and they'll be like, if they see the email, they'll likely be like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I got to hang out and talk with Brad Logan, dude. Do you know how much that blew my mind? Like,
Yeah.
because to me, these guys are like, I wouldn't say gods. I don't put anybody on that kind of pedestal, but like, they're like major influences of my entire life, and it's pretty cool that they're willing to sit and talk to some fan for 30,
Yeah.
45 minutes or more.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think part of what's helped me too is I used to promote shows as well. I still promote shows too. Actually, I still promote shows here and there. But I was a promoter in Santa Cruz for a while, and so like doing that, you also kind of meet people as well in the
Right.
behind the scenes and stuff like that. And that's one thing about even being a punk band too. In order to like sometimes get your show going, you almost have to like book your own show. Sometimes
Oh,
it's hard to get promoters to give you a chance. So you end up
right.
promoting your own shows and like building a network that way. And now it's like I have other friends that are promoters, and if a band hits me up, oh, what happened? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Your video disappeared. How did I get bring you back?
I don't know.
That was weird.
Everything's
Oh,
fine on
there,
my end.
you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was weird. Well,
I was just saying that you have to sometimes like you have to network with promoters and other bands. It's all about building friendships, building connections, building networks, and so you have to kind of do it. Punk rock is a community in a lot of ways,
oh,
and
dude, it very much a community. Like,
yeah,
this is the only scene where you can like DIY your whole career. Like, that
yeah.
shit doesn't happen like that in metal, man. It just doesn't. And I don't have no problems with that, but like, it is book your own shows, book your own tours. I mean, just look at what I've been able to accomplish from a desk in Houston or outside of Houston at this point.
Yeah.
I'm meeting people and putting out tapes for the Havoc. Like, I listened to them 20 years ago. It was so crazy when he called me. I was literally like laughing. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, yeah, I'll do that. That's so crazy.
It's
Like,
pretty cool on this tour. So both us and the Havoc were putting out cassettes.
right,
It's like, all right,
right,
that's where we have to put out a new cassette. This is the tour. It's a cassette. It's a cassette release.
dude. 1994 called.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I
pretty
love tapes,
awesome.
dude. Justin literally just messaged me. Send me a picture of some Havoc koozie. That's actually dope.
It's awesome.
Man, I love merch, dude. Merch is my favorite shit because I'm such a fanboy of bands. Like, I like to collect all
Yeah.
that stuff.
I showed Justin yesterday. Justin and Josiah from the Havoc. I was with my daughter yesterday, and we're riding bikes. And I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you?
Yes, that's awesome,
She's wearing a
dude.
Havoc shirt,
That's
riding
rad.
her bike.
Dude,
Yeah.
your kid rules for that. That's awesome. Probably rules anyways. My daughter
Yeah.
wears Rancid shirts all the time.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
she loves Rancid too. She'll put on Rock Band. I'm like, oh, Rancid. Then now she knows it's Rancid, and she'll
just
listen
like
to
the
Rancid.
Interrupters.
I haven't really played her I should. I know that like some of my friends, their daughters like Interrupters. I probably should try
I
that out with
play
her.
as much female punk as I can for my daughter, and
She
she
likes it.
loves Interrupters and Catbite from Philadelphia. She really likes them a lot.
Okay.
She her first show at 8 years old was Catbite, and
Nice.
what was that other ska band that like the one that they opened for? It was damn, it's a really prominent ska punk band. I can't remember.
Okay.
Fuck. Anyways, Catbite was the homie, so that's what I was there to see.
Nice.
But yeah, dude, my daughter wears like she's got a Catbite shirt. I made her a couple of Rancid shirts. She's got obviously 31 record shirts and stuff like that, and a punk rock review shirt. I made her one finally because I finally got the screen made, and she wears them to school. And her friends are like, "Where do you get these shirts from?" She's like, "My dad makes them." It's
That's
pretty rad.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty cool. Man.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
she wears them.
I've taken my daughter to a couple shows, and not that didn't even stay the whole time, just for a little bit. Just I stopped by and I got her the big, like construction.
We have those for our kids too.
Here's things, but yeah, she likes it. She has fun, and I was at Punk Rock Bowling in Las Vegas. I went for one day last month or whatever, and there was a lot of kids there, a ton of kids there. I'm like, my daughter, she's 5 now, but she's like old enough where I could probably start bringing her to some shows here and there, and getting her exposed to it because she likes it. She
That's
has
awesome.
fun. I was playing
No, go ahead.
I was playing the Havoc here actually, and she had the shirt on. This was like before that bike riding thing, and she was dancing in the living room, and then we're like,
yes, dude.
We're in her bedroom, and she's like we're like moshing together in her bedroom. So it's cool,
dude.
So.
I love little kids, man. Like I hang out with my kids so much. I just love hanging out with them. And I was driving in my car one day, and my son, who is now 11, he was 10 at the time, and he like looks over at me and he goes, "Hey, Dad." And I was like, "What's up, dude?" And it was just like, we weren't listening to any music at the time because I don't know. I don't want to like bother them with my loud, angry punk music. So he's like, "Hey, can we listen to that new Rancid?" So I think he called it an album. And I was like,
Yeah.
I like looked at him and I was like, "Yeah, you want to?" And he's like, "Yeah, I really like that one." And I was like,
Nice.
"Yeah," I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I kind of want to see him in concert." And he's never seen any bands.
Yeah.
He's autistic. So he's like, sensory overload is not his jam.
Mhm.
And I was like, I think they're coming to Austin soon. You want to go see them? And he was like, yeah. And so I bought tickets for me and my wife and my kids to go see Green Day and Rancid. Like, that's going to be his first show.
Dang, I want to go to that with Smashing Pumpkins too, or no? Are they on that one as well?
Dude, I'm so happy that they're not playing down here, man. I'm so stoked. Like, it's just Rancid, Green Day, and Linda Linda's as far as I know. And I know Smashing Pumpkins aren't playing Austin. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I'm not a fan of that kind of music.
Oh, really? I like the Pumpkins. I would like to see. I've never seen them before, so I want to go. But the problem, the one they're doing in LA, I have to work already. You know, I DJ weddings for a living, so it's hard for that's one reason why this band has had some issues because I work a lot of Saturdays. But I already have a wedding.
I imagine so.
Yeah, I already have a wedding booked when they're playing LA, but I'm considering maybe going to one in San Diego or maybe.
Dude, you should, man.
Something I want to. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Rancid and Green Day. I've seen them a long time ago.
Do you hear what Green Day's doing at this tour?
What's that?
They're playing because it's the 2024, so it's the 30th anniversary of Dookie and the 20th of American Idiot.
Okay.
They're playing both albums in their entirety, and in between the hits. What are we talking about? That's crazy.
Like yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're gonna have to get. Yeah. I better look at the calendar, make it happen.
And I'm hoping that Tim and Billy Joe do some stuff together on stage, man. Like that would be so iconic for somebody like.
Oh, that would. Yeah, right. They probably will. You know. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for that show, man. I'm gonna see the original Misfits finally. I've never seen them. I get to see them in a few weeks.
Nice.
In Dallas. No, Austin.
Okay.
And Suicide Machines are playing in San Antonio the night before. So I got a lot going on, bro. Like,
yeah, that's good.
And I go film all this stuff. So I'm very, very excited about this, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was bummed. I missed, No Values, that big festival out here. I don't know if you saw it. It was like Woodstock. It was crazy. It was packed. Although I heard people went like 3 hours just to get a parking spot, just to drive up. Like they got there and they like thought they were going to catch the first, like the Addicts played at like 1 PM. Like people were trying to show up there to watch some of these bigger bands play early, and they couldn't get in until like 4 because the line of cars was so bad.
Yeah, I heard it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I had to work, so I couldn't go. So that made me feel a little bit better about not being able to go because
right.
But at the same time, it was like they announced it like only 3 months out, and I already had a wedding, of course, booked.
Dude, when you miss a big event and then you hear some nonsense went on, you're like, all right,
makes you feel a little better. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
man, I've probably made a jackass of myself like 4 times on this one podcast. That's a record for me. That's a good time, man. That's a good time.
No,
dude, people need to not take things that I say so seriously. I think people take me way too serious, and I am not a serious person. So
people will find, they can find the negative or they can find the positive. Like I said, like I try to find the positive in what people say, and sometimes people are like, "What? You're giving that person credit? Like, how can you do that?" I'm like, "Well, because we're all human, like we're all boneheads."
So true.
And so I will say I do try to find the positive in people, despite, I have friends that have pissed me off and done rude things to me. I haven't talked to them for years, and then later on they apologize and like, all right, cool, we're good. I can do that. Some people can't, you know what I mean? And
I don't hold grudges. I'll talk shit, but I don't really hold grudges. And that's ultimately why I've done some of the things that I've done on my channel. My intent is often really, really positive. And sometimes I resort back to being kind of like, backed in a corner with my claws out. Like I'm very protective of things, especially what punk rock has been my everything in my whole life. I mean, it was the only thing I had when I left home. You know what I'm saying? I had a backpack full of tapes and CDs and some punk t-shirts. And that's where I met my roommates and then met my friends. And it's just my whole life has been. So I get a little bit protective over it and probably gatekeepy to a degree, which I think is hilarious. You can't gatekeep punk rock. I'm like, yeah, you can. You probably should to a degree.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you and me might disagree on that a little bit, but that's okay.
I don't want Nazi skinheads at shows. I'm sorry.
Okay, I hear you on that. Yes, absolutely. I hear you.
That's gatekeeping.
100% on that. No, for sure. In fact, I
wasn't talking about Aaron Miklo. I was talking about like I was talking about like actual shitheads.
No, I agree.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, and there's been times where I remember I was in high school and there was some skinheads that were Nazi skinheads. I have friends that are skinheads, but these are like racist because they were in the pit and the guy was doing this, and I was like, and I was a kid and I was like ready to like fight this guy, and I remember like kind of like getting this guy's face, and then someone pulling me away like, hey, watch out, he's got his screw here, and I'm like, well, this guy, we can't let this guy be doing this at our shows, right? And I don't remember. I think I don't know what we ended up doing. We told security or something like that. It got handled and they got, but like, it was like, we don't want that at our shows, obviously.
That's what I meant.
I agree. Yeah. But I guess for me, I'm thinking more of like, the awkward weirdos that like, okay, maybe
that is punk rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're whatever. So they're not. So they're wearing Crocs at a punk show. Like
Dude, bro, I have Crocs in here right now. I love Crocs. I don't give a shit, bro. Crocs are comfy and they don't require socks. And I'm lazy, so I don't want
yeah.
to wear socks.
I was
Dude,
my guitar player. He wears Crocs, and I like to wear Uggs. And he's like, "You can't wear Uggs. Those are those are GAY." And I was like, "Dude, you're wearing Crocs, whatever." And then
I mean, dude, for real.
I sent this
Pot
video.
meet kettle, right? Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about? No.
Well, it was in the winter, and we were tour. We played last year. We went to Salt Lake City in the wintertime. It was colder,
It
whatever.
probably is cold in
And so
Salt
I
Lake
had my
City.
Uggs, whatever. And he was teasing me. He's like, "Those are girl shoes." I'm like, "Dude, they're comfy. They're warm." But I sent him a video. I just heard this that on the movie Idiocracy. I'm sure you've
Oh,
seen
I
it.
know all about the Croc thing, dude. I
Yeah, the
love it,
Crocs. Yeah,
bro.
they all wear
Yes. They're
Crocs.
like, give me the ugliest, stupidest looking shoes you can find.
Yep.
And they
Yeah.
brought them Crocs. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I just sent him that video just to kind of
Dude, yeah. I mean, I'm fully aware how dumb they look, but they're comfortable. My
Yeah.
wife used to hate them. She was like, they look so stupid. And then I got her a pair. She put them on and was like, oh crap. And I was like, I know, right? They're so
Yeah.
comfortable. But
Yeah. But yeah,
dude,
I mean, I just and that's the thing. Like one of our I don't know, one of my songs called "Way of Life," and I say it's not about it's we gotta we all like it's more than just a scene. It's a way of life, yes, but it's also like I talk about like just how we have to like be there needs to be unity, and we can't judge people by the way they look or dress or whatever. We
it does
all have
no
to,
good,
yeah.
man.
So
It does no good. And look, I'm guilty of doing it to a degree. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. That's just not accurate.
yeah,
But we can be better. I try to improve myself. That's my only goal, really, is like be a good dad, be a good
those
husband,
those,
and
those
then
two are probably the most important. Yeah,
yeah, and then after that, it's like improve myself and put out good music. Like that.
yeah,
Those are my goals. Like good person, good dad, good father, good husband,
yeah,
and then improve and put out good music.
yeah.
That's all I want to do, man. Like I'm in a constant state of working on myself because if you just sit around and go, I'm good, bro, I don't need to improve. What? I just don't know anybody that's that good
Yeah,
at it.
we all need to improve. I look at myself and I'm like, oh man, I really need to get better at this. And it's hard. It is hard to have discipline to change
Ooh,
change
yes.
something, to change habits. Like eating. Even me, like I've been trying to like eat healthier. Like I've been
I
trying
was
to like
literally thinking of that when you said that.
and it's like it is so hard. And I've been like it is hard. It is hard to, to exercise, to put time to exercise, like to eat healthy. And then a lot of people like some people are like, I don't give a F. I'm just gonna eat what I want. It's like, well, no, like if you really want to like improve the world and
Dude,
improve yourself, eating healthy is a part of it. Exercise is a part of it. Like that's if you want to be a good dad, if you want to be a good husband, take care of yourself because that's gonna
right?
enable you to
Dude,
be,
1,000,000%.
so I have on that note, I have a lot of friends that are sober, don't drink anymore. I still
11 years in July.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I've never had a drinking problem. I don't even do any other drugs. But I do drink. And I'm like, sometimes it's like, like it just, it's not the best for you. You know what I mean? It's not, and
No, it's
that's,
absolutely
yeah,
terrible for you. Even if you're looking at just simply weight loss, it's so full of calories. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm on a weight loss journey right now. I've lost 30 pounds since December. So I'm trying to like last night when I got home
Right.
from work, I worked 9 hours walking on my feet behind the bar. Came
Wow.
home, didn't even sit down, man. I walked in the house and cut up a bunch of cantaloupe. Like I was like, all right, I need to have snacks for tomorrow that aren't chips.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
cut
man,
up.
chips are the hardest. They're so like French fries and chips are supposed
They're
to be so
so
bad for
good.
you. So it's so good though.
They're
So
so
good, it's so
good.
bad. Yeah.
So I had to find stuff that's like equally as delicious, and I was like, oh, I like sweet fruit, so I cut up cantaloupes. I bring apples and cantaloupes to work all the time, oranges, stuff like I have to bring them to work. I just have to look like an idiot walking in there with a big bag of fruit. Like, oh well, at least
Yeah,
I'm
man.
losing weight. At least I'm feeling better. I swim all the time with now that it's summertime and all that stuff. But
Nice.
dude,
Nice.
before we get out of here,
Yeah.
because I wanted to spend a little time. I told you I would spend some time with you. I was late. It was my fault. So I wanted to hang out for a little bit. I really like your music and I like you. So I want you guys to do well.
Thank you.
And, just, okay. The question I ask pretty much everybody I speak to.
Okay.
First off, outside of your band and the Havoc, do you have any other bands you want to promote? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to talk about for a second?
No, I mean, no, I would say in general, if there's a band you like and you see them, buying a t-shirt goes a long way, but even just like, listen to their music, buy their songs on BandCamp if you don't want to,
Right.
if you don't want a CD or you don't want to, you don't want a record because you don't listen, you just, that helps. It goes a long way, like, I just think it's, support those bands. And no, there's not like, I mean, there's a lot of different bands we play with, random bands, but right now, yeah, I would just say, we're excited, honored to play with the Havoc. They're friends of mine. I was their roadie for their very first tour.
That's awesome.
So to now go on tour with them, it's awesome for me. It's again like playing those legendary bands. It's just like it's a dream come true. So we're excited to be honored to be on the road with those guys. Yeah, I mean we're also we're playing like I'm really stoked with like Salt Lake City Pirate Punks, like they're putting the show on, and just to see his excitement because we played Salt Lake like about a year ago, to see his excitement to have us come back and have the Havoc there, and he's like, I've always wanted to have the Havoc play and have you guys. So it's cool to see these different promoters and scenes supporting bands, and I think that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Another podcast, Salt Lake City podcast, the Salt Lake City Punk Cat, what's it called? Salt Lake City Punk Podcast, whatever it is. He's putting us up for the night while we're there too.
Nice.
He just streams. It's cool to support different scenes like that. So,
dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about touring with a band, but I think you gave me a pretty good answer with the Havoc. I love those dudes, and their music is very, very good. Justin is becoming a friend of mine very, very quickly. I really like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, my last question then, just on the fly. We just covered the movie Suburbia on my buddy's channel, and I'm gonna upload the footage to my channel. Have you seen that movie? And if so, has it been recently?
I have seen it. It has been a very long time. But I have seen it. Yes.
Man, what are your thoughts on Suburbia? Just before we go, let you get out of here in a second.
I don't remember. Like, I just remember seeing some cool show footage in that right there.
There was some cool show footage.
There's a show there. I remember that. I don't even remember like what the premise of that movie.
There is no premise. It's about there is. It's about a kid that just bounces, leaves home, and ends up in this like punk house.
Oh yeah, I remember the house. I remember that. I just remember them going to some show. I don't remember though what happens. I remember SLC Punk a lot. I've seen that one.
I love that movie.
And I was talking to someone about that recently, about talking about how he decides to become a lawyer at the end, and how he decides I can, because he was preaching anarchy, and he was like, I decided I can make more impact in the system than out of the system.
That's absolutely correct.
That's why he becomes a lawyer. And I was talking to him about that idea that like, because in order to have an impact, you can't just like talk about it. You actually have to take action. And by him becoming a lawyer, that is how he'll have an impact. And so I was acknowledging that.
Absolutely.
But
infiltrate the enemy, man. Got to get in there and make some change from the inside. I mean, that's absolutely correct.
I remember Suburbia being a great movie as a kid, watching it and like going like it was cool. I just don't remember I now have to rewatch it.
Yeah, you should give it a rewatch. My buddies were talking about how it was such a dark, sad movie, and I was over here like talking about it, how great it was, and they were like, I was like, well, that movie represents me. Like that's exactly how I came up. I was 17. I left my mom's house because I was tired of her rules, and I ended up in a punk house, and I ended up screening shirts and going to shows at a young age. And like, I drove to Galveston from Houston once with no idea how we were going to get home. We did all kinds of stuff that those kids did. We just went out and did, man. We lived. We skateboarded. We got into fights. We got in trouble. Got arrested a few times. Like nothing in serious, like stupid crap, but like being young juvenile delinquents, honestly, right, and just having a good time. And I said, the one thing is that I grew up poor like those kids did. So the one thing that I think has been the one thread throughout punk rock that I can tell you I've seen in every single scene in person that is legitimately a punk rock guy is that all of us grew up pretty much just kind of poor, like maybe not like dirt poor, but like none of us had like none of us were wealthy, right? Yeah. So that's how we found it. We were like outside doing shit, skateboarding, and you got a guitar to play music because you couldn't do it. That movie's it's dark, but I love it.
Yeah, it's like I grew up in a very affluent area, Laguna Beach, super wealthy, but I was a canyon rat, so it's like it was in that kind of.
That's what made me think about that earlier. Is when you said that, I thought of Suburbia. I was like, oh yeah, we just watched that movie. I feel like that's a.
Yeah, I mean, but I also, I mean, it's like what is poor in Laguna is still so it's wealthy in so many other parts of the country or world, But my dad was like, my dad's a gardener. He's a hippie. His hair's down to here. He drives an old '60 Volkswagen. And so that's kind of awesome. My upbringing is through a hippie dad, and even
that explains a lot about your personality.
Oh, why? Okay,
just like you're chill and you're really, really nice.
Yeah, my dad and my dad are close. Luckily, I see that's one thing. Some people don't have a father that's involved or not, and you talked about that earlier about how us, like I said, like that's one of the most important things in our life is to be a good father, and that's how I'm with my daughter too, very close. And I think that's so I'm happy that. Although my dad is your not atypical man, he's, as far as like, he's not working a 9-to-5 job. He was kind of taking me to soccer and working in the garden, and we're going to the beach and going on hikes and that kind of stuff. That's kind of how I grew up, and
That's cool
just,
though, man.
but
That's awesome.
but I remember I wanted a drum set, and he helped me get a drum set, and I wanted to get a bass, he helped me get a bass, and like learn how to play music, and just being supportive, and that was a big
Dude,
part of my
supportive goes a long way, man.
yeah.
My
So
dad moved out when I was 5 and then died when I was 17, so I didn't
oh,
even really know him.
mm,
Like, I knew him a little bit, but not much, man. I mean, I'm not trying to get sympathy from anybody about it. Like, it is what it is. I'm an old man now myself, so but, well, I wish my dad could have met my kids. That's the one thing I think about. I think about
yeah,
that pretty often. But, man, it's been an awesome talk, dude. I had a good
yeah,
time, man. I hope you guys have a blast on tour. When you get done with tour,
yeah,
if you happen to have you guys have shirts and stuff you're taking with you?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We have a ton of merch. Yeah, for sure.
If you have a large shirt when you're done, let me know so I can buy one.
Okay, for
I'm
sure, for
I'm
sure.
finally down to a large, and I'll send you some money and you can throw me a shirt or
Yeah,
send it to me if you don't
we
mind.
don't have to wait. We can send that whenever you want. So
Okay,
I'll text you. I have your number, and
cool.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, absolutely, I have a few different. I'll send you some pictures of the different designs. In
Yeah, I need
fact,
to rock one on the show, man. I want to have a shirt to wear on the show. I love wearing different shirts on my channel.
all right, that sounds good. I'll get you one of those, and then yeah, we're actually gonna put probably the shirts up. There's a few on BandCamp, but I'm gonna probably put some more up there too. So if anybody else that
Nice.
sees this wants to check out our merch, we have patches and shirts and CDs and
Oh,
pins and
there's gonna be
bunch.
links to all your crap. The description of
Good.
I said crap like that. That was kind of mean. All your stuff.
I know you meant
I just meant
all
like
our stuff. All our stuff. Yeah, yeah,
socials and
yeah, yeah,
Bandcamp and all that
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
that'll all be in the description right at the very top. A little one line, and then it'll be all of the Afraid stuff. So you guys want to get in touch with those guys, you can do so through the description here.
Awesome, awesome.
Um, well, man, good luck on your tour and high
Thanks,
five
Randall.
Justin for me. Absolutely, man. Y'all have a
Yeah,
good time. Have a good weekend. See you soon, bud.
all right, man.
All right,
Till next
later,
time.
man.
Later, later.